Good evening, everybody. My name is Teah, and today we're going to be doing a tech talk on Web3 and the movements that tech companies are trying to do in order to secure their future. We're going to be looking at two scenarios, two situations that are occurring, and the first one is going to be some seemingly simple move, but I'm gonna explain the weight behind it and the benefits behind these moves. I mean, this move and how it's gonna benefit the company in the future. And the second one is gonna be a controversial topic that is much bigger, um, and it's still being looked into by a lot of people, and it's not. I don't think it's gonna go through, but we're gonna see how it turns out. And so, without further ado, we're gonna look into my Gmail here, and I'm gonna start explaining what's going on in the tech world so far. All right, so I received a mail recently from Netlify, and we're gonna be talking about Netlify. Netlify says today Netlify is thrilled to announce that we have acquired Gatsby Incorporated. So Gatsby is let me just load it. Gatsby is a solution architectural company, uh, and their workspace focuses on uh, build management and services, microservices management, and pretty much managing the development side of things to make life easier for updates in the future and code management and everything like that. So this company here has been acquired by Netlify, and so let me just read this real quick. So it's a Valhalla provides a centralized data layer that gave enterprises an architecture for managing content across a variety of sources, making it accessible via unified GraphQL API. If you guys know, GraphQL is something that has been booming for building content sites, e-commerce platforms, and both native and web application. Key terms here: GraphQL, e-commerce, native and web application. And we're just gonna watch this.
The modern website is composed of a convoluted and complex web of different services. Content management systems like Contentful, WordPress, Drupal for content, e-commerce data with sources like Shopify, BigCommerce, and WooCommerce are used to build engaging commerce experiences. Assembling a performant, composable website from these disparate data sources is a very challenging endeavor. Teams spend time reading API docs, waste cycles ensuring that it scales and is configured just so, and ultimately end up building their own data layer. But even further, there's the reality that legacy APIs and legacy content sources were never designed to be used for composable architectures, and it means that they are prone to failure and ultimately do not scale to the needs of modern teams. So thus, teams with a need for speed that are sold on the benefits of modern composable architectures have been left stranded until today. Enter Valhalla Content Hub. Valhalla Content Hub makes content synchronization from hundreds of data sources a breeze. It enables teams to come with their content sources of today and experiment with the content sources of tomorrow with newer, more innovative CMSs.
All right, so scalability is something that is going to be very, very crucial for every single application that is going to be made from here on out, because Web3 is all about microservices. And in order for you to have a good microservice architecture, your architecture need to be scalable pretty much. So by acquiring this tech company, this overall solution system that was developed by these guys, um, Netlify is pretty much securing its future because it knows that in the future it will have to scale out its applications, and Netlify is likely to make a move from just web to stuff like mobile and to platform like native desktop application. That's what I'm thinking. Netlify is about to do, and this is probably like uh, 3, 4, 5 years from now. But as you can see, companies are actually starting to make move visually, and this here is a very decent acquisition by Netlify here. I'm a huge fan of the Netlify ecosystem. Um, they make things accessible to every type of developer, and because of them, I'm able to deploy my application, and pretty much like without them, I don't know if I'll be able to have my application up there so that I can test it. And before I turned towards Netlify, I was using Heroku, but Heroku had to change its business model because uh, users were abusing the system. There were hackers making scripts and programs to deploy onto Netlify to attack people's services. And so Netlify had to change its business model because it was being held liable for these attacks. And so it's pretty much understandable. Um, I mean, not Netlify, Heroku. So I hope I didn't say Netlify in the when I was explaining it earlier. Anyways, Heroku had to change its business resources. I mean, business model. So the next move we're gonna be looking at is gonna be another YouTube video, and this time we're gonna be looking at TikTok removal or TikTok ban. Okay, so the problem with banning TikTok. All right, so I didn't plan these out. These are like just a talk show pretty much, and so we're just gonna roll with anything we can find here. Let's just go with the 1 million view from Vox. And
Okay, Jess, I want to start with an experiment where we swap TikTok login information to see just how different our feeds actually are.
that's
I
good.
don't know what it's going to reveal about me.
I do wonder how different it's going to be.
Nurse turns into a hot lady.
Okay, so I just got literally the male version of that on yours. Look,
Oh my god.
male nurse, female nurse. Just there's so many animals on yours.
List of
All right, so what they're trying to show right now is like how targeted these like pretty much these videos are, and that is one of the reason why like few people like few I don't know if woke is the right term to describe, like people like who think for themselves in a sense, and there are like few of them now these days, and they actually stay away from applications like these because the overall goal of these type of media is to control and teach different type of ideologies to youths and pretty much change how people view the world, right? And this was one thing that Meta was attacked for pooling data and using that to target media sources to individuals. And so what you guys just saw pretty much here was a guy using a female phone and receiving a video um, that is like a bit persuasive in a sense, like to keep her swiping so that she can stay on the app for a long time, and it's pretty much targeted. and she's using his video, seeing the same type of content, but from a feminine, yeah, from a female perspective, and that's supposed to keep him on the app for a long time. And for those of you guys who know me personally, I don't use social media that much because I like to reduce the odds of me being influenced by things like these. Um, Anyways, it's very important to watch what your kids are doing with medias and stuff like that. So you don't raise a child that been learning something else in the background, has a completely different view of what society is supposed to be like. And as soon as you realize it, when the child is like in their 20s or whatever, it's gonna be super late. So TikTok, a lot of people who are woke in a sense. I don't even know if that's the right word to describe them, but I'm just gonna use that. People who are aware, self-aware and stuff. Um, a lot of them hate TikTok, and I'm probably not using the word correctly. Anyways, a lot of people, like few people, do not like TikToks because of things like these. And TikTok itself, I think it really had a huge impact on the on Americans, and this is because like TikTok is it's an easy way to share information. It's a very easy way um, to influence people. Provides It provides a very easy way to do those stuff, and so teenagers and young people have really flocked towards this app. As you can see, there are like millions of views in each one of these videos because there are some people out there right now that are still swiping on TikToks, and they swipe from the morning from in the morning to midnight, and even when they're about to sleep, they are still swiping just to get these quick dopamine hit from this social media. And so comes the topic of, is TikTok supposed to be banned, right? And that's the huge question.
Underrated
And
reference. I would never get that.
I've never seen this push-up challenge.
Yeah, I think TikTok recognized that I would prefer a funny version of this because it recognized that I share a sense of humor with this person in Indonesia.
TikTok's frictionless personalization is what made the app an instant success around the world. But now that global success is crashing into international politics, putting TikTok in the middle of a worldwide battle over how open the internet should be.
President Trump threatening to ban TikTok in the United States as Microsoft is hoping to acquire it.
I think Chinese tech companies traditionally have really struggled to get a cultural foothold in the US because the culture is just so different.
That's Eugene Wei, a tech product executive who's written about how TikTok, which is owned by a company called ByteDance, became the first globally successful Chinese app. How they did it all comes down to design. When you first open up TikTok, you don't have to follow anyone, or tell the app about your interests, or even choose what to watch. It shows you a video, and the only decision you have to make is how long you watch it.
So if you look at the history of social media, most of the giants in social networking today started by having people essentially build up a social graph from the bottoms up.
A social graph is the web of accounts you follow, and it determines most of the content you see on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. The problem with that approach is that it can feel like work. Building up a social network takes time, you're not necessarily going to like every post from the accounts you follow, and it's hard to find accounts that you would like but don't know about. TikTok took a different approach. It bypasses the social graph and instead builds an interest graph by watching you interact with videos. TikTok isn't the first platform to do that. It's basically how YouTube works too. But because TikTok videos are less than 60 seconds long, you watch more of them, which means more data.
People talk about the TikTok algorithm as if it's some magic piece of software that is just miraculously better than every piece of software out there. But the truth is, It's not necessarily that the algorithms themselves have gotten that much better, but if you massively increase the training data set that you train the algorithm on, you can achieve really amazing results. And that's why I think a lot of people will describe the algorithm as eerily accurate, eerily personalized.
TikTok's interest graph introduces you to like minded people, and because the videos are often music or meme based rather than language based, you may find that some of those like minded people live on the other side of the world. They might be a dancer in Nepal, a family in Mexico, or kids in the UK, or this guy. As long
I
as the
know that
algorithm
guy.
predicts that it'll entertain you.
And so, in
He
that
blew
way,
up.
the TikTok algorithm kind of allows ByteDance to gain traction in markets all over the world with languages that they don't understand, subcultures they don't understand.
TikTok's global appeal enabled it to reach 1 billion users faster than the other social media giants had. But it also set the app on a collision course with a different trend: the rise of internet nationalism.
India is banning TikTok and dozens of other Chinese apps.
Australia has cited concerns about national security, so too has South Korea.
President Trump issued executive orders that would ban TikTok and messaging app WeChat from operating in the US in 45 days.
ByteDance is based in China, which means it's subject to surveillance by a regime known for censorship, human rights abuses, and cyber espionage. But TikTok says they've never provided any US user data to the Chinese government. For his part, President Trump has hinted that this is actually about getting revenge for the coronavirus.
Yes. Why would he ban it?
Well, it's a big business. China, look, what happened with China with this virus, what they've done to this country and to the entire world is disgraceful.
But whatever the motivation, the US targeting a globally popular app is a big deal because it throws a wrench into one of the biggest debates over what the internet should be. A New America Foundation report plots that debate along a spectrum of how open the internet is within a country.
So on the one pole, we can visualize the free and open model. So that's the democratic model. Very little state involvement in internet content.
As the original home of the internet and many of the world's biggest tech companies, the US has traditionally advocated for the free flow of information online.
The opposite end of the spectrum is what we see in countries like China, where there is heavy state involvement in content, where they do go to internet companies and say, you have to censor all these keywords, you have to censor all these foreign websites.
China's Great Firewall famously blocks sites like Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Wikipedia, Netflix, WhatsApp, and many Western news outlets. But it's not just China anymore.
What we see in the middle are countries who I think are going to play a pivotal role going forward in this global scale tipping we see.
According to analysts surveyed for this report, many of these countries shifted towards less openness between 2014 and 2018. In 2019, Russia moved to build an internet that is isolated from the rest of the world, following years of increasing government censorship. Turkey has been blocking some news websites and recently passed a law giving the government sweeping powers over social media.
All right, so basically, this is like a information race. Since we moved from mechanical warfare, in a sense, there's still preparation for mechanical warfare, but um, I don't think that's the overall like aim for most countries when it comes to infiltrating each other. I think information is key, and whoever controls the flow of information pretty much has all the power. However, that's a government perspective. That's uh, like a state level ideology. Like that is not really what uh, banning like that's a specific perspective that doesn't cover the overall reason why TikTok is supposed to be banned or why people are thinking about banning TikTok. TikTok right now is occupied mostly by uh, ex- uh, explicit content in a sense that you cannot swipe on TikTok for like 3 times in a row without seeing something explicit. Um, the term sex sales is used as pretty much like a branding model within the TikTok algorithm. And when anybody can pick up their phone anytime and record something explicit and just upload it and get millions of views, a lot of people will end up doing that, and that's influencing a lot of people in different countries, and which that's also affecting cultures. um let's say it's affecting culture, which is also affecting like people views. Like, let's say religion might be something that could get affected by TikTok. um People dress, how they present themselves is something that could get affected. I mean, that is actually being affected by TikTok. People's sense of self, privacy, um, and so there are a lot more stuff that is under the layer that is being affected by TikTok, that is not being pretty much like addressed in this video specifically. But those are the stuff that people should be looking at. It's not just a government perspective. It's not just like a cyber warfare or whatever. It's more than that, right? So should TikTok get banned or should it not get banned? That's the question for everybody to be thinking about. So one of the things that could help, or that could happen if TikTok get banned, is uh, a shift of interest from TikTok to other social media platforms. And one of the platform that could benefit from this, one of the company um, that could benefit from this is Meta. And you guys know Meta got hugely affected when the TikTok was released, and YouTube had to even adapt to TikTok. YouTube had to create a short system so it can retain some viewers. And yeah, so a lot of things would change, but removing or keeping TikTok from here on out. And that's just something I wanted to look at and talk about. And yeah, guys, I also been working on my personal project for a little bit, and right now it's mostly UI, and I've been working on a game, on my game, and it's not much, but this is what I've been working on as well as my personal project. And I've been working on the UI, programming stuff in C Sharp to in Unity to make these, and so on. And yeah, apart from that, um, I've been programming a website, and my website is coming good. It's coming along quite good, and I'm sure the content I showed did not show up. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you guys in my next update. I don't have much to show right now, so that's why I made this video. Um, and I hope to show you guys my website progress so far. And have a nice day and a nice weekend. Bye bye.